What's up, guys? What's up? I am back to do another review on a Sony Pictures animation movie. We're almost done. We're almost done with the, Sony Pictures animation movies. Of course, a few more have come out since I I started this review, but not a whole lot's come out because I started doing this, I think it was last year. But there has been a couple movies that have come out and all that. But I'm so glad to be almost done with this because honestly, doing these reviews in the correct order on this stuff is a pain. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I've been having a lot of problems, figuring out, what the right order is on and all that on this stuff. So some of the reviews have been not in the right order. I'm still getting them done, but they're not in the right order like I've been wanting. That's because, honestly, on the internet, if you look up, the Sony Pictures animation movies, they're, all over the place. So I kind of been just trying to stick with, one playlist. Not one playlist, one video and all that, but I have gotten them mixed up a few times at the beginning. But I am glad, though, that I've been, doing these reviews, and all that, because I think it's only fair to, talk about Sony Pictures animation and all that. But I am so glad to be almost done with this, because, then I only have DreamWorks to go, then I can move on to Disney, and I can be completely done with all this. So, yeah, but I will be kind of going into more detail about this whole experience later on. Mainly with Sony and all that when I'm done with the reviews. But I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long. So, if you guys haven't already, remember to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. And, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. There I'll be trying to, post some stuff for people to keep up to date. And all that. And, I think I pretty much said everything I want to say. So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's talk about Goosebumps 2: A Halloween Night. I gotta say, though, the whole title sequence with this, I don't really care for it, a lot. I think it's kind of just whatever, it just sounds like it could be a whole nother, TV show or something, or something like that, I don't know. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense to me, but, I guess they're trying to be creative because, it's a sequel and all that, and sequels tend to have, different titles, but I just think they could have called it something else, why not just call it, why not just call it a, something else, why not call it, something else, and, I thought they could call it, they could call it, I don't know, Slappy Returns or something, I don't know, the whole thing just doesn't make sense to me, but that's just my opinion, but I will say though, that, I still think, at least them trying to change the title up instead of just calling it 2 or something is kind of nice, but I don't know, I just think they could have gone with a whole different name. Also, for some reason, my TV does not like the music I have played on here. Because this is the second time I've tried playing this, music in the background, and for some reason it does not like it, so, I guess I won't have any music in the background, so sorry about that, but, I don't normally breaking the fourth wall here on my videos, but that's just nature for you, he does not like music, so, yeah, it keeps, buffering, and it's only done it, I think, on this stuff, but, I don't know. Well, I guess I have not really played music, so maybe it's not just this video. I think that I'm not really playing a lot of music on here, but you know, but still, I think it's just kind of stupid it does that. But anywho, yeah, there just won't be any music, I guess, but that's all right. I can just do a review without it. But I was gonna say though, yeah, the title. I do think the title of this movie should be called, like Slappy's Revenge or something like that. That would make more sense. But because Slappy returns, he's the dummy, that returns in this movie. I just think that would made a bit more sense, but I don't know. Also, isn't it kind of weird too how like in a very weird coincidence that I've reviewed well, I guess How to Train a Dragon was not a monster movie, but there's been pretty much monster movies very close together. We had Monsters versus Aliens. We had that movie, and then we had and then we've had, a review, like I did a review on, Hotel Transylvania Summer Vacation, and now we have this. So it feels kind of weird, to have them so close together. I mean, they're not, like, right back to back, because like I said, I reviewed, How to Train a Dragon, the last time, but still, I think it's just kind of weird, how close they are together, But in reality, they're actually not close together because these movies were released, far apart from each other. But you know what I'm getting at. But anywho, though, I feel like I've kind of been talking more about the title than anything. I kind of want to talk about the movie itself. And I have to say, unlike the first movie, I don't know, this movie I feel like is a bit more of an improvement over the first movie in a way. The first movie I felt was kind of slow paced and all that. Like, this movie actually had a lot more, I felt a lot more humor in this movie. Yeah, I felt there was a lot more humor in this movie than the first movie. The first movie, well, I guess it's not really supposed to be humorous because, it's Goosebumps, but these movies are technically supposed to be different takes on the, the actual shows. The shows are supposed to be more, they're supposed to be more, creepy and all that. These are supposed to be more, I don't know, like, entertainment, for all ages and all that, so it's kind of, weird and all that. Well, I should say all ages, but technically, in this movie, they do curse a little bit. They don't curse a lot. They say a couple, bad words, but they're not, really, really bad words. They're just, like they say hell, and then they'll say... I think one of them will say "damn it" or something. Not damn. I don't remember what it was. But they will say some bad words, but they don't go very big on it. They won't go big on it. But it still feels more like it's not as creepy and all that. And I mean, I'm fine with that. That's kind of one of the reasons why I don't like the Goosebumps stuff is they're kind of creepy. And actually, to be fair, even then, calling it creepy is... I don't really think it's creepy. I think it's more the stuff's just forgettable. I'll tell you what's creepy and actually scary. Try watching Rose Red. That's a fucking horrifying movie. Try watching that. It's a horrifying... Well, it's not, super scary. It gets more scary, in the second half, but... Yeah, I mean, I watched that movie and all that. You may be asking, well, if I'm not a big fan of horror movies, how did I watch that? Well, my stepdad, when I was in Hannibal, did that. He made me watch it and all that, and I was begging him to see the second half because that movie's 4 hours long and all that, so it was split up into 2 different discs and all that, and it was just kind of crazy, and all that, but there's a couple Goosebumps episodes that are kind of scary, there's the worms. The worms they somehow find a way to make worms, horrifying as hell. They really do. I don't know how they do it, but Goosebumps makes worms horrifying. And then you got, there's an episode where you got, where they're in, they go to, this house or something, and there's, these I don't even know. Are they like what are they? Are they like are they supposed to be zombies or are they demons or something? Like I don't even know what the hell they were, but I just because basically they would burn them and all that, you know. I think they were supposed to be zombies, but the thing is, the light can melt them and all that. So I don't really know. But my point is there are some scary moments in the show, but it's more so it's just boring. Like I feel like it's just boring. Like it's just yeah, you got the typical parents that aren't gonna believe, you know, they're kids, and then you got like then they'll eventually find out, and then they have a twist at the end and all that, and it's just boring. Like it's just not my cup of tea. And some of it is scary, like I don't like scary stuff, but most of it it's just boring, like because I mean there are scary moments, you know, there are some scary moments that can be scary, you know. I mean Ghostbusters, you know, has that too. They have those jump scare stuff, but they're definitely not like basically they're they're just jump scare stuff. Like they actually do have some scary stuff in that stuff, but not a whole lot. But basically though, yeah, we got this movie, you know, here that, you know, is a sequel to the first movie and all that, and you know, basically like the first movie, it's not really like as much, it's its own thing more so than like the, you know, TV shows and all that, you know. But the thing is, though, one thing I'm gonna say, even though this movie is an improvement over a lot of that, you know, stuff in the first movie, where like I feel like it was kind of slow and too straightforward. One thing I'm gonna say that really pisses me off about this movie is they do not include like literally any of the staff, or not the staff, I mean the actors from the first movie. They don't include any of them. They're not in the movie at all. They don't have them in the movie at all. They're just like, they don't even mention them. They're just like, I mean, like where's Jack Black's, you know, ghost daughter and all that, who was revealed to be a ghost? Like where is she at, you know, and where's her love interest at, you know, and you know, I just don't get it. Oh, and Jack Black, he's in the movie, and they actually, unlike the first movie, they kind of make him a bit more of a nutty goof job, or you know, whatever. They make him more, you know, crazy, which is kind of like, you know, his character, you know, and which I like, you know. But I still find it kind of weird how he just has all these books and all that in his room, and all, and he keeps making them. I'm like, dude, like, why do you keep making them and people are gonna get a hold of your books? I don't get it. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, but it doesn't make much sense there. And one thing I don't like is how they just throw him in there out of nowhere at the end. Like, he literally comes out of nowhere and all that. They don't hint at it or anything, and he doesn't even play a role. It's like they just throw him in there because they're like, you know, it's Jack Black, you know, everyone likes Jack Black, you know, in Kung Fu Panda, and, you know, other movies and all that, you know. You know, I mean, he's in the movie Ice Age. Yeah, I found that out, like, because I was like, his voice sounds familiar. Apparently, he voices the crazy, saber-tooth, you know, tiger in the first Ice Age movie. So there's that, you know, which was pretty cool. I don't know. Did I figure that out beforehand or afterhand? I can't remember if I did figure it out eventually, but I can't remember when. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, you know, one of those things I can't remember. I mean, I reviewed the Blue Sky movies a long time ago. I don't remember them. Speaking of which, like the list that I have a list on my that I have been following, you know, on YouTube, that I've been sticking with on the evolution of Sony movies, and that one, like, apparently it shows that Nimona is part of the Sony Pictures animation movies. But I'm actually going to be waiting to review that because I want to review that part of the Blue Sky stuff down the road. So that'll be coming in the future. So I won't be reviewing that part of the Sony stuff. I'll be reviewing that later. Because I feel like it's supposed to be, I think, a farewell to the Blue Sky, studios, the ones that Disney shut down and all that. Basically, yeah, I will say I kind of do miss Blue Sky, but yeah, I will say their movies were good. Some I had some problems with, but yeah, they were still good. But yeah, Nimona was definitely one of those that was on there. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm kind of just talking, in circles here. But there's just not really, I think, a lot to really to say in this movie. It is kind of a repeat what the first movie does. It's a repeat. I will say, yeah, it is better in a way with, I think it's got a lot more going for it. I think Slappy has a much bigger role, so Slappy isn't just thrown in there out of nowhere, but like the first movie, I also feel like some moments feel rushed, like they throw him in there out of nowhere, like apparently this girl, her brothers have, her brothers have a, have like a sister and all that, and she basically, I guess, was dating this one person. Apparently he cheated on her and all that, and I don't know, I'm just like, I'm kind of like why did he cheat on her, I'm like, I mean, I guess to make him a scumbag, but I'm like, I don't really know, I feel like they focused on that for a second and then kind of stopped, and I'm like, why couldn't they focus on that a little bit more, and, I mean, if he cheats on her, that's fine, makes him a scumbag, but I'm like, I kind of felt like they threw it in there out of nowhere, and then suddenly it's just gone, and it's never brought up again. I guess technically the dummy, Flappy, technically he does basically harm him, but for messing with, his supposed sister, So yeah, there is that, but otherwise, yeah, there's really not much to that. I will say something that I do find odd about this movie is I gotta say Flappy is kind of like some sort of Jedi or something in this movie. Like, he can freaking use the Force and all that, and like just it's really funny. Like, he can just use the Force and just like pull hoses and wrap them around people. It's really weird and all that. It just kind of makes him a little bit more powerful. Something they never even explained or even shown, I don't think, in the first movie, if I can remember correctly. But again, Flappy was like barely there. Flappy was kind of just, he was there for like a few scenes and didn't show up towards the end. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just think, it was kind of funny and all that. And all that. And I actually didn't even know this. I didn't even know that all the main characters were related. Well, I knew that the technology guy was. But I didn't know the black kid was related. I thought he was just a friend, but apparently he's related too. So he's related too. So but yeah, I guess they're all siblings. So that's kind of cool though. But one thing I will say though is this movie definitely has a lot going for it, but definitely not really, as sorry, I think I've got a bug flying in here or something. But yeah, there's like a bug flying in the basement somewhere. I don't know why that is, but hopefully it's not a wasp. My dad actually got stung by a bunch of wasps over the weekend, so, yeah. But, yeah, sorry if that's why I'm stopping, and not talking, that's why. But I was gonna say, though, is, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, I don't mind, him being a brother and all that, but But sometimes they'll do this in movies where they'll give like different skin colored characters, they'll make them, brothers and or sisters and all that, and related, but it gets kind of confusing because I'm like, how are they related if they, have their parents have the same skin color and all that, unless they adopted them, but usually they never explain it, they just throw them in there, and I'm like, I kind of wish they would explain, that, because it's kind of strange, but, I mean, I'm a redhead, and I'm even like, I'm a redhead, and I'm like, well, imagine, watching a movie and all that, and, you have, people with black hair and all that, and then you have a gender like me who, or, someone who's a gender like me in a movie who it just stands out. It just makes it seem kind of weird, but I don't know. It's just whatever, but I do kind of think, I do like their sibling dramatic. I do think they're kind of funny. And I will say I like too how he's kind of he's kind of like a screw up, but in a funny way. He's stealing this old woman's candy and all that, and it's pretty funny and all that. It's funny, but yeah, I don't know if I have a lot to say about this movie though. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say this movie, in my opinion, is good and 73 points. Yep. So this one barely passed as a good. It was so close to getting a meh. And not because the movie is forgettable, but because I have a lot of problems with this movie. Mainly, I don't like how, like I told you guys, I don't like how Jack Black shows up out of nowhere. He shows up out of nowhere and he doesn't do anything in the movie. He just has a cameo in the movie, and I'm like, I kind of wish he would have helped, maybe with the ending and all that. And another thing I don't like is, I don't like how, for the first movie, we don't see the characters from that movie in the second movie. And I mean, it may be kind of hard to get, the actors and all that to, reprise their roles, especially when they're teenagers and all that, but still, I just think it's kind of annoying, If you're gonna make a sequel to something, I mean, the best you can do is, either, include, the actors, by maybe, have them dressed up or something, or, something, I don't know, I just think it's kind of weird. It kind of runs with that problem with, the Transformers movies, too, because they've made so many of them and they've gone on for so long, most of the actors from the first movie are gone, and are doing other things, so they instead of, CGI them in there, or, well, better yet, just put clothes on them and dress someone up to look like them, like a dummy, or, no, not dummy, I mean, sorry, I'm thinking of puppets, a doppelganger, or would it be a doppelganger, or, that someone that looks like them, I don't know, they could do something, but they end up kind of just not doing that, and that's kind of how it feels like in this movie, they kind of they couldn't get the actors maybe back from the first movie, so they just did this, and this movie's only a couple years newer than the other one, so it's just kind of weird, but I don't know what to say here. It's just kind of weird, but yeah, it's just kind of weird to see, that be the case and all that, but I still think this movie is really good. I still think I do have problems with it, I mean, I do think they have, they stumble across moments, but I feel like they're kind of rushed by and all that, I mentioned the whole, girl, the girl and her boyfriend cheating on her and all that, I kind of wish, I mean, I guess, they show her getting mad at him, but it just kind of felt like it was just shoehorned in, and I feel like they could have done a little bit more with it, I mean, there are people out there that do cheat on people, that's just how life is, but I just feel like they could have, explored a little bit more with it and all that, and done a lot more with it, but I don't know, but But I think everything is everything here though in this movie is I think they do improve it a bit more. I think this movie is better. But speaking of better, it's time for my, comment question for the Sony Pictures animation movies. Let's do it. Yep. So now we've got ourselves a comment question for this video. Honestly, trying to think of a comment question for these movies is kind of hard, but I thought of one. In this comment question, I want to know what your guys' favorite movie was. Do you guys prefer the first movie or the second Goosebumps movie? I told you guys, I think the second one is better. I think it's got more going for it, despite, again, like, I don't like how they got rid of the, actors from the first movie and all that. And they throw Jack Black in there out of nowhere. I think there's a lot more to this movie. But I am really curious what you guys think about this. And all that. And, I don't know what else to really say here. I think I'm probably going to go ahead and let this video go. There just wasn't a whole lot to really say in this review, but I mean there was stuff to say, but not as much as I was wanting. But anywho, guys, I'll see you all later. Have a wonderful day. See you all next time. Bye bye.